We are back with another reaction video. This one's going to be interesting because the like to dislike ratio on this, just looking at it now, is pretty shocking. So let's see what questions they have, and I'm just going to answer brutally honest.
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
Well, I'm also the same sex as Jesus. So,
why do you hate rom-coms? Or do you just feel like you need to hate them?
Men generally hate rom-coms because they're fantasy and create unrealistic expectations about love and relationships. One thing I always say, what porn is for men is what rom-coms are for women. Porn creates unrealistic expectations in men about women's bodies and about sex. And rom-coms create unrealistic expectations in women about men and about relationships and about love. That's why men hate it, because yeah, it's not real. And I think a lot of women are looking for their rom-com in life.
Everybody likes The Notebook. Everybody likes Beyonce.
I've never seen The Notebook, and I do love Beyonce. She is bae.
Just a fact.
Why do you make women sit around and talk about men in movies
When y'all easily just sit around and talk about boobs for hours?
Why do you
Men love boobs. Personally, I'm a bum man, but yeah, men do love boobs. So,
Why do you automatically assume that you won't like TV or movies that star a female lead?
Why?
it's a very good question. I don't think guys assume that they won't like films that star a female lead. It's just generally, if we're talking generally, like guys, we love action films, and there aren't a lot of action films that star female leads. They're all men. Most films that star female leads are rom-coms. So I'm trying to think, is there an action film? Like Kill Bill. Yo, Kill Bill is an amazing franchise, right? Loved Kill Bill. Everyone loves Tomb Raider. So it's because men, we like action films, and there aren't that many action films that star female roles, or the majority of female roles are in rom-coms.
Are you surprised when women are funny?
I'm probably funnier than you.
I'm not surprised when women are funny. I love Eliza Schieslinger. Did I say her name right? And Tiffany Haddish. Those women are hilarious.
I'm probably funnier than you.
Are you funnier than me though? She's not.
Why do you think that we're obsessed with you when we hook up?
9 times out of 10, I just want you to leave too. I'm busy. I got shit to do.
Do we think we're obsessed? Should I tell you what it is? It's because usually, not everyone, but usually, when you have sex with a girl for an extended period of time, she's likely gonna get feelings for you. And that's very normal. It's a very normal thing. And sometimes the guy gets feelings too, but a lot of players out here, they're just looking to have sex with the girls for a few months until they get feelings. And then they're like, when she gets feelings, I need to dip. So that's an honest answer to that.
I got shit to do.
Why can't I sleep with as many people as I want to without being judged?
This old question, the double standard. I'm gonna try and answer this as short as possible. Men and women are different. Getting sex for women is easy. It's not impressive. So when you get loads of it, it's like, okay. Getting sex for guys is hard. It's very difficult. There's something like only 10 to 20% of guys are actually out here having sex who are single. So if a guy gets to a point, and generally because women have much higher standards, like 6 foot tall, earn a certain amount, must be good looking, have a good body, because to get sex with women is very difficult, if a guy does it, he's seen as the don. Whereas for your woman, like 99% of you could literally walk down the street right now and be like, who wants to have sex? And at least 4 guys would be like, yeah, I will. So that's why it's a double standard. Here's a question. Here's the other double standard. If a guy is broke, no women will want him. But if a girl is broke, many guys will still want her. Okay? It's a double standard. But when it comes to dating, men and women, we're different and we look for different things. So
When men do it, they're congratulated.
Why do you consider a woman a tease if she doesn't sleep with you after 3 dates, but a slut if she sleeps with you on the first date?
do you guys really think a woman is you know, a slut if she sleeps with you on the first date? Loads of people sleep together on the first date nowadays, so I really don't think that's a thing. In regards to women being a tease, well, here's the truth. Sometimes some women will use, knowing a guy is interested in them, will use that leverage, if you want, to maybe get favors from him or whatever. I mean, no one's obliged to do anything, but sometimes people tease. Guys tease as well, but usually it's women, because when it comes to sex, y'all have the power.
In what world does no mean yes?
No means no.
No does mean no. So.
Why do you say that women are too emotional to be leaders?
Then justify catcalling by saying men just can't control themselves.
Women aren't too emotional to be leaders. I disagree with that. I mean, in UK, we've had a couple of strong female prime ministers, and even the not Secretary of State, head of foreign affairs, she's female. I think Secretary of State is female. We have the Queen. So I disagree with that. I don't agree with catcalling either. I think it's silly. Also, when has that ever worked? I think it's dumb.
Why do you think that just because you're nice to me, I owe you my body?
That is true. No. Just because you're nice to someone, they don't owe you their body. But I will say this, ladies, just because a guy asks you on a date doesn't mean he has to pay. I think he should, but he doesn't have to. And it shouldn't be expected.
Why would you ever send an unsolicited dick pic?
I don't know why anyone would ever send an unsolicited dick pic. Again, when has that ever worked?
Why do you feel like it's okay to harass women or make offensive comments about women, but when somebody does it to your sister, it's not okay?
Well, it's not nice to make offensive comments about anyone, but people do it all the time anyway. Obviously, you care more about your family members than you do random strangers. Let's be honest. Like, people make offensive comments about people, but obviously if it's somebody that they care about, they're not going to do that. That's just kind of simple connection, proximity. It's just the way the world is.
How does it feel to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of making a point during a meeting?
Sometimes you get interrupted, that's life. Men interrupt men, men interrupt women, women interrupt women, women interrupt men. That's life.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
I'll tell you why we have to sit with our legs wide open. Because here's a grim truth, ladies. Sometimes, if it's really warm, it's a warm day, and we're wearing trousers that might be a little bit too snug, our balls stick. Yeah, stick to the sides. Sometimes we have to just let it breathe, okay? That's why.
I get that you have balls, but I don't stand around with my arms wide open to make room for my boobs.
Balls and boobs aren't the same. They're not the same.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex? Even though we literally birth you, like watermelons through like this.
Why is it?
You have to define weaker. If you're talking about pure strength, then yeah, biologically, women are physically weaker than men. That's why we separate sports into genders. We have, the category for men and category for women. The same for athletics and the Olympics. If we didn't do that, results would be incredibly different for how many women actually, get on top. It's just a reality of life. However, I do think there is an argument though, I think there's science to back this up, that women have a higher pain threshold than men, like the whole giving birth thing. So you're gonna have to define what you mean by weak or strength or whatever it is.
It's so bad to show your emotions.
It means you're human.
Why?
It's not bad for us to show our emotions, but here's the truth, and especially any guys listening, this is the truth of reality, right? If you are very emotional as a guy and you are led by your emotions, your woman will not respect you, especially if she's looking to you to be a confident leader. That's why. Guys, it's okay to show your emotions, but I would always say show it around your close guy friends, or around, if you're really having an emotionally turmoil time, be open with that with friends, or definitely girls that you're not interested in romantically, because it's a harsh truth that guys have to face, but a woman will start to lose respect for you if she sees that from you, right? And here's the thing, a lot of women won't admit this.
Why are you always trying to prove your masculinity?
How are you always trying to prove our masculinity? Well, I guess the argument for that is generally because women like masculine men. That's why. So guys want to come across as masculine because that attracts women.
Why the f isn't it lady like to cuss? When do words get gendered?
Lady like to cuss. Well, it's not gentlemen like to cuss either. Like, if you're a man, to be a gentleman, you wouldn't cuss. So if you're a woman, to be a lady, you wouldn't cuss. So that's not a gender thing. That's just having class, having, sophistication.
Why is it your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped?
Any accusation should be taken seriously and investigated as thoroughly as possible. But it's not that it's doubted, it's that you can't just believe something because someone said it. Because if we operated that way, I could say Halle Berry forced herself onto me, and then everybody would have to believe me, though it would never be forced. It would always be willingly accepted. Take it seriously if that happens to someone, or if someone says that, and it should be investigated. But we can't live in a world where we just believe someone because they say something. Like, there would be absolute chaos if that was the case.
Why do you assume a woman's angry because she's on her period?
I never do, never should. Just don't do it, because she just might be angry.
Why do you think women that wear makeup are false advertising? We can say the same thing about your dick size.
Interesting. That is interesting. Well, I would say that if a guy says he's 9 inches and he's only 6, that is false advertising. The whole thing about makeup, the thing is, makeup is supposed to enhance what you have, right? So if you absolutely cake it on that you look completely different, you genuinely look completely different without it off, then yeah, that is false advertising, because you're presenting something that isn't authentic or true. But that's just like moderation of makeup. Like, use makeup to enhance, not to put a mask on. That's what I would say.
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
Well, that really depends on what country you're in. If you're in the States, then yeah, that's probably the case. But if you're in Nigeria, it's probably not old white men, it's probably black men. And if you're in the UAE, it's probably Arabic men.
Do you have a coochie?
Why are straight guys so obsessed with lesbians?
Straight guys aren't obsessed with lesbians, they're obsessed with girls who are bisexual. Because every guy has the fantasy of having a threesome with 2 girls. That's why.
How does it feel to get kicked in the balls?
Oh my gosh, awful. You feel like you're gonna be sick, but you never do throw up.
Do you ever get tired of trying to be manly all the time?
I mean, I don't know what what does it mean having to be manly all the time? I mean, if you're a man, you're a man. Just be yourself, bro.
Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
Not afraid of gender equality. I think any decent person would be in support of that. So.
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
How is that fair?
Well, 77 cents doesn't equal $1 or 68 cents. You should get paid the same for the same work. If you do more work, you deserve more pay. If you do less work, you deserve less pay. But if you're doing the same work, you deserve equal pay.
Why are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you? That's awesome. More money.
So guys aren't intimidated by women who makes more money. Stereotypically, a woman who is very successful and very financially successful, she usually has a lot of very strong masculine traits, or that's especially what she portrays in life. And that is intimidating. That's intimidating for women and men. And I know you say more money, it is a bonus, don't get me wrong, for a relationship. The truth is, ladies, you're never expected to provide for a guy's life. So a man never expects to think of your money as his money. Whereas men, we very much willingly do provide for a woman's life that we love and care about and want to build a life with. So the money that we make is also in turn part of the money that she has as well. So that's why guys don't care.
Why are opinionated women seen as bitches?
Opinionated women aren't seen as bitches, they're just seen as opinionated. Like opinionated men aren't seen as dicks or bosses, they're seen as opinionated. I'm very opinionated, hence why I have this channel.
When opinionated men are seen as bosses.
Why aren't you speaking up when you hear your male friends behind closed doors make jokes that are offensive to women?
Okay, I'm gonna squash this. I have to squash this right now, okay? Locker room talk. Ladies, you have your own version of locker room talk, all right? Let's not pretend you don't, because I've heard it. The only difference is that you hide your locker room talk way better than guys do, okay? Guys are stupid. Guys will have locker room talk in public, whereas girls, you'll have a night over, you have your 3 or 4 girlfriends, you have a glass of wine, and then you talk about how good or bad the sex was with the guy you had last night, his dick size, the color, the vein, the wrinkles, everything. I've heard it, okay? Men and women talk about the other sex or the other gender in ways that are offensive if other people heard it, but women, you're just better at hiding it, okay? That's what that is. Let's not pretend like that's not true.
Why are you so afraid of recognizing your own privilege? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just recognize it and do something about it.
That really depends who you're talking to. I mean, recognizing my own privilege, I'm gonna be honest, like, as a black man, history has not been nice to black men. At all. I mean, I feel like that video was just a joke. Like, I feel like they were just trying to make a video that's controversial just to get views. Some questions might be a bit valid, but I don't know. There was a bit of the pot calling the kettle black in some of that, because we both know there's some things that both men and women do. That's just part of life. Yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts. What did you think? Did you think it was silly, the questions they were asking? Do you agree with them? Do you agree with me, or do you disagree with me? Tell me what you think, because I'm not afraid to talk to people who might disagree with me. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. And as always, keep it slick.
Pow.